Some U.S. mothers are turning to baby formulas produced in Europe because they believe they're more natural, and social media has created a perception that they contain higher quality ingredients. The problem is some of these products are not registered with the FDA, and they're entering the country illegally through third-party vendors, and that potentially causes some serious dangers. Joining us today to discuss is pediatrician Dr. Eric Ball. So great to have you. And look, I am going to say one thing. I do understand why people might think, well, okay, European, sometimes they have higher quality standards. Let me get some of that. But can we talk about some of the risks associated with buying these European formulas from third-party vendors?
Right, so we all want what's best for our kids, and that especially goes with nutrition. And when you have a baby who's on formula, 100% of their calories, 100% of their nutrition comes from that formula. So we as pediatricians want to make sure that that formula is safe and it has all the nutrients needed to allow that baby to grow and thrive. The problem with these formulas, because they're not FDA regulated, because they're being sold illegally by third-party vendors, is we cannot say for sure that they are safe, and we can't say for sure that they do contain the nutrition to allow a baby to be healthy.
And how did this get started in the first place? Is it like chat lines, moms, well, I got this formula from France and it's all natural and it's better for baby, et cetera?
Correct. I mean, we see this with all sorts of products with families, that things spread on social media and what have you. And the issue that we see and the risks involved with this is that these are not regulated. So if you live in Germany and go to a store in Germany and buy these products, they're safe, they're regulated there. The problem is they do not meet the requirements, both the nutrients or the labeling requirements that the US FDA requires, so they cannot legally be sold here in a store. So the way these are bought over the internet is someone over in Europe will buy these, they'll ship them over to the US in some process, and then they will then sell them on the internet to a parent. The problem is that supply chain is not what it's supposed to be, and we don't know what happened to that formula. You know, where was it stored? How long was it stored? We see these things coming over, they could be expired, they could have been in a heated environment, so their nutrition levels go down, and this can lead to real risks.
Once it gets shipped and you have no idea, they could literally be opening it up and adding in some water, or you don't know.
Right.
And you've actually taken care of some kids who've gotten sick from this, is that right?
Right, so the biggest issue that I've seen is the way that these formulas are mixed. So formula generally comes in a powder, you mix it with water, put it in a bottle, feed it to a baby. It has to be mixed in a really specific way, according to the label and the guidelines from the manufacturer. So these labels from these European formulas are generally in some other language. They're in German or Dutch or something that's not English that most of my patients do not speak. Also, the measurements are in metric units, whereas we're used to ounces. If you measure the formula incorrectly, the formula will either be too diluted or too concentrated, and that can put their electrolyte balance out of whack. And the electrolytes get messed up, kids can become lethargic, and in the worst case scenario, we actually see kids who've had seizures because of this.
So I guess the take home is parents, talk to your pediatrician, right? And
for sure, when we are feeding our baby, especially infants, especially formula, you need to be 100% sure that these are safe products. And for these imported products, we just can't say that.
Now that we engage in so much commerce online, is there a way to avoid that risk since it is such an important developmental stage for your kid?
Yeah, so you have to buy things from trusted retailers. Like, I wouldn't go on the street and buy formula from some random guy. But when you're buying these things from a third party, that's essentially what you're doing. You don't know who is selling it to you and where it's been stored and how it's been manufactured. So you need to buy from trusted sources, but anything you ingest, or in particular, anything your child ingests, you better be sure that it's from a reputable retailer.
And the great point there is that retailer, they need to have the right products on their shelves because they are liable. Some third-party vendor somewhere selling you some product. Realistically, your kid could have a problem, and then you go try to find the third-party vendor, and they're no longer in business. They went for the quick buck, sold you this great European formula that you read about online. So just be very careful out there. And I would almost argue you should never give your child any formula that you haven't run by your pediatrician.
Oh, I agree. And there's a lot of babies who have special needs that need specific kind of formulas. So that's why we're there as pediatricians. Come to us, talk to us about the best formula for your kids.
Thank you again, Dr. Ball. Really appreciate it.